Hi, library friends. Welcome to the Red Bank Public Library and our program called Family Story Time on Race and Diversity. I'm Sira Williams. I'm the children's librarian here, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. We're going to have a great program, but I want to start the day with some peace and love. I think it's what the world needs a lot of right now. So please take some, doink, and pass it on. I hope that with all of the things going on in the world and in our communities today, that you are having continuing conversations as a family about the issues that are important to your values. Okay, today we're going to talk about some things that are important to me, and I hope that you'll agree and that they'll kickstart some conversations for you in your home. We're going to read a great book. It's called Planting Stories, The Life of Librarian and Storyteller Pura Belpré. And this is a special story for me because it's about a woman who was a librarian and a storyteller and an author. And she loved, as you can see, to read books to children. And you know I love to do that too. And her story is perfect for this month because she was from Puerto Rico. So her story is one of Hispanic heritage and history all wrapped into one. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're going to check that off our list. The other reason it's great for today is because we're just wrapping up Banned Books Week. And her career was all about making sure that there were stories that represented her culture and her history on the shelves of the library for children to read. And all of the books behind me, take a look while I'm talking, are on lists and have been challenged and banned in schools across our country. It's very sad for me because these are excellent books. I've read almost every single one of them to you in this program or other programs at the library. And you know me from story time. But one of my responsibilities as a librarian here is to purchase all the books that are in the children's room. And there's over 15,000 books in here. But I want every child to find something that they want to read. Not every book has to be for everybody. You know that. But I want every child who walks in to see something that they can relate to see themselves in the pages of a book. So no matter what they look like, where they come from, how they identify, what they're interested in, they got to find something in here that they can relate to. Because representation matters. Remember that. Representation matters. It's so important. It can lift you up, build your self-esteem, build your confidence, inspire you when you can read a story that you can relate to. But it's not just about that. It's so important for all children to learn and read about all different kinds of people so that they can discover that we're not all the same. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody eats the same foods, listens to the same music, and has the same experience in this world. That's a fact, and we need to learn about that and celebrate those differences. And we can do that by reading. The other thing we discover, though, when we read is that we have so many things in common, even despite those differences, and we need to celebrate that too. And so this is what we want to do when we read and provide access to materials from diverse perspectives. And so we're going to read this story now. Before I do, I want to show you something and give you a sneak peek of what we're going to talk about to bring this all together after the book. There's some tasty things here. I wonder how that's going to relate to this story. Well, let's read the book first. It's called Planting Stories, The Life of Librarian and Storyteller Pura Belpré, and it's by Anika Aldamuy Denise. These pictures are very detailed, so I'll try to make sure that you can see them well. Okay? Remember, this is a true story. It says it's 1921. Pura Teresa Belpré leaves her home in San Juan for a visit to Nueva York. Words travel with her. Stories her abuela taught her. Cuentos folclóricos Pura retold in the shade of a tamarind tree in Puerto Rico. Now a new island stretches before her, ripe for planting seeds of the cuentos she carries. Cuentos means stories. Manhattan. It's a city of hustle and bustle, bigger, louder, crowded, yet alive with hope and possibility. What began as a visit to celebrate her sister's wedding becomes the first steps in a new land. Una vida nueva for Pura. She works first in a garment factory, but it is cold floors and hard edges, not the soft, fertile ground where seeds take root. But then a golden opportunity, una benedicción. The library needs a bilingual assistant, and Pura speaks Spanish, English, and French. Oh, she's perfect for the job. But where are her abuela's stories? Not one folktale from Puerto Rico is on the shelves. How lucky for the library that Pura has story seeds ready to plant and grow. In the children's room, she lights the story hour candle and begins. Her eyes dance, her voice sings. Pura's words paint a picture of a little house with a round balcony where Martina, a beautiful Spanish cockroach, meets Perez, a handsome and gallant mouse. El ratoncito Perez y la cucarachita Martina, a tale from the tamarind tree. Can you see them? When Pura's story is done, each child makes a wish on the candle, and with a wisp of air, whew, la vela is blown out. And now Pura has a wish too, to plant her story seeds throughout the land. Pura learns to make puppets. She snips and sews their clothes and paints their delicate faces. Families come to hear folk tales in Inglés y Español, to watch Pura's puppets dance across the stage of her stories. That's fun. But the library needs libros for its shelves. How can more children read Perez y Martina and other cuentos de Puerto Rico? Pura puts her story in an envelope and mails it to Frederick Warren, a publisher. Soon, Perez y Martina is a book. Now a published author, puppeteer, and storyteller, Pura travels from branch to branch, classroom to classroom, to churches and community centers, planting her story seeds in the hearts and minds of children new to this island who want to remember la lengua y los colores of home. Writing, learning, speaking, teaching, traveling, Pura does not slow down until, like the beautiful Martina, she meets her Perez. On a December day in New York, Pura marries the musician Clarence Cameron White. Un año away from the library, she decides, 1 year to start a new life as a wife. But a year stretches on. Together they travel to new cities, and Clarence plays his music, and Pura tells her stories. They're happy years of music and writing, separations and reunions, friends, family, and stories. Stories always. Until on a June day in New York, Clarence stops playing his music, and Pura's story must begin again. It is 1961, and Pura returns to the library. There are others now, other storytellers who make puppets dance, who read Perez y Martina, The Tiger and the Rabbit, Juan Bobo, The Three Magi, and many more of Pura's stories to the children. The seeds she has planted, the roots that grew shoots into the open air of possibility, have become a lush landscape into which she steps as though she has never left. That's the end of her story. There's more information in the back of the book about her and the stories that she wrote, and this is a wonderful book for you to check out from the library. But do you see that it was her main goal to share stories about her culture that she didn't see on the library shelves? And so over the years, many other authors have written books and published books to make sure that more and more books like these land on library shelves and in bookstores that are by and for and about people of color and other marginalized groups. And unfortunately, there are people that don't like that idea. They don't want to celebrate our differences. They're afraid of them. And so they try to ban them and keep children from reading and having access to these stories and these experiences. And the result of that is to erase the identities from the shelves, but it also makes you feel like you're banning the people that these books are about. It's very sad. It's not cool, and it's not what we're about at all. And so this is where our little food demonstration comes in. I'm gonna take the lid off this ice cream so that you can see what I have here. I've got peanuts, eggs, ice cream, and chocolate. These are all delicious things to me, but guess what? There are people in this world that can't eat any of these things. Some people are really allergic to nuts. Some people are really allergic to eggs. Or maybe you just don't like them. Can you imagine somebody who doesn't like ice cream? I love it, but a lot of people are lactose intolerant. It hurts their tummy to eat something creamy and delicious like that. And if you have a dog, you know you can't feed it chocolate. It's toxic to dogs. So let me ask you this question. If all these things are a problem for a lot of people or animals, what do we do about it as a society? What do we do? Do we ban them? Do we take them off the shelves of the markets? Do we ban them from all restaurants? Do we put people in jail for growing peanuts or for making ice cream? No, we don't do that. That's not fair to everybody else who wants them, like me. This is America. It's a free country. You can have it, you cannot have it. But we're not going to ban it. If you can't eat peanuts, you don't buy peanuts. If you can't have something that's made from milk and dairy, you don't buy it. There's lots of other choices for you in the store now, right? That makes sense. We don't keep them from everybody else. So why should we do that with books? Books are just made of words and pictures. They can't hurt you like this food could possibly hurt somebody. When I was a kid, when somebody would say something mean to another kid, you know what we would say? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Words can't hurt me. Now they can affect me. They can hurt my feelings. They can make me sad if you're mean to me or if I read something. They can make me sad, but they can also make me happy. And guess what? I can also learn from words. And I can go anywhere in the pages of a book. And so this is the thing. If you don't like a book, you don't have to read it. Just like the food. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. But you don't ban it for everybody else who might want it or who might be interested in it. So we're going to leave them on the shelves. That's what we want to do. We're going to leave them on the shelves, and you don't have to read it. That's all. It's very simple. This brings me to my last point and something I want you to think about. It's the freedom to read. All right? It means that everybody should learn to read. Number one, kids, be practicing your reading. Everyone should learn to read. And then everyone should have access to every story. It's so simple. And it's so important for kids to learn to read because reading is a gift you give yourself. Do you know that once you know how to read, you don't have to ask anybody to help you? Hey, Mom, what does this say? Mom, what does that say? You can read it for yourself. And once you can read anything, and you can learn so much. You can learn anything that you're interested in, and you, like I said, you can go anywhere in the pages of a book. So many adventures to read about. So learn to read. The sky is the limit once you can learn to read. And when we limit access to reading, we limit our ability to learn about each other and discover those things that we do have in common, and also discover all those differences that make us special. And it just makes us grow further and further apart if we can't read those other perspectives and learn. And when we grow further and further apart, that leaves room for misunderstandings, miscommunications that spiral into fear, racism, anti-Semitism, discrimination. And these are all things that we're seeing increase in our society today. And so it's time to stop and step up, protect our freedom of speech and freedom to read. And authors and teachers and librarians and readers, everyday people, need our support to provide this freedom to read. And so I want you to go online. Well, I suggest that you go online, Google Banned Book Week, first of all, and look at all the children's books that are on these lists. You'll be amazed. Maybe you'll come to the library and check out a few of them so you can see for yourself how ridiculous it is. And then you could also go online and sign the Freedom to Read Pledge. I did. It's very simple. One line. It says, I pledge to protect and uphold the freedom to read, ensuring that every voice and story remains accessible for all. It's good. Think about it. Think about it. Talk about it with your family, with your friends. We need everyone's support to defend the freedom of speech and the freedom to read. Okay, while you're doing it, take some peace and love with you. There it is. Let freedom read. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me today. Guys, take good care. Bye.